Hi there, welcome to this video. So we'll be discussing MRP1 and MRP2. That's basically the first principles of it, and then see how to do it in Odoo, your ERP software. So let's go into the definition first of all. So in MRP, you've probably heard it before, but probably you do not know that there's MRP1 and MRP2. So what's the difference between these two? First, it's in the name. So there's material requirements planning, that's MRP1, and then there's manufacturing resource planning. But what do all these things mean? Let's just ask our old friend Google, and I can just ask him what or her what is MRP1 versus MRP2. I have my first result here, and as always I have my very neat AI summary. So it says MRP1, that's materials requirements planning, is a system that plans and schedules materials for production, ensuring the right parts are available at the right time by managing inventory and production schedules based on the master production schedule. That's MPS, bill of materials and inventory status. Whoa, that's quite a mouthful, isn't it? But keep in mind that it basically plans and schedules materials for production. That's all you need to know. So basically planning plans and schedules materials for production, material requirements, what materials are required to satisfy a certain manufacturing or certain sales. Yeah, that's all you need to know up to this time. I'm trying to avoid using Odoo terminology. And then you can see that it has some three important parts that go into the MRP1, and that's the MPS, master production schedule, the BOM, and the inventory status. So again, big words right there, but remember it's planning and scheduling materials for production, and it is based on something called a master production schedule, a BOM, that's a bill of materials, and inventory status. What about MRP2? MRP2 is manufacturing resource planning. It expands on MRP1 by integrating broader manufacturing resources, including personnel, equipment, and finances, providing a holistic view of production by incorporating capacity planning, scheduling, and even financial and marketing data. And then right here you can see a wonderful video, a video which explains the difference between MRP1, MRP2, and ERP systems. But up to that point, you already know that MRP2 expounds on MRP1. Before I go to another slide, I'll just like to ask Google again, what is a master production schedule? MPS, and someone already asked. So again, my very good AI overview. A master production schedule MPS is a manufacturing plan that specifies which products will be manufactured, in what quantities, and when to meet customer demand and business objectives. So yeah, you can read further down here, but our aim is actually to see how this is done in Odoo. But we're starting with the first principles, of course. And so if you search on the internet what is MRP1 versus MRP2, you'll find this wonderful blog by odooexperts.netherlands. So .nl. So what does MRP mean? For those who love graphics, here is a graphics. You can see that there's MRP1, and here you have master production schedule, you have bill of materials, and then you have some word in Dutch. I think it's inventory from what we read. So you have MRP1, and then you have MRP2, which basically builds on MRP1. So you can see there's machine capacity, product life cycle, and some other Dutch words. And of course you can see all MRP1 and MRP2 can be contained and can be done in an ERP system, which further goes and includes things like CRM, finances, HR, e-commerce, projects, and etc. And so basically this one has been written by Odoo experts. Let me see if they can explain to me some things. So they're talking about PLM, quality, time registration, and all that. So basically it talks about how MRP is done in Odoo and all that. But let's go to our happy definition. So MRP1 and MRP2. The objective of this video is to explain material requirements planning, and we want to go to the first principles. So once again, let's ask, so what is a master production schedule? Let's see if we have any images of a master production schedule. So here we can see a wonderful picture. You have safety stock, available inventory, forecast demands, lead times, current orders, and R&D requirements. All this go into a master production schedule. Nice. So I know that I'll need to know all these things. Need to know lead times, available inventory, forecast demands. Okay, let's look at something else. Let's look at the simple guide. So you can see there's a table, but it is not very visible. So let's look at something that's visible. Yep, that looks good. So basically tells me that an MPS can have levels. So you can have level 0, level 1, and you can have on the side, you have finished good, lead time, component 1, lead time. So component and lead time. And then you can see you have columns, period, and then you have 10 periods here, 8 periods, 8 periods. And then you have gross need, available inventory, net need, and manufacturing order. Yeah, that's good. Now let's go into Odoo. Odoo documentation. Let's not rush ourselves. Odoo documentation. Let's see what they have to say about MPS. So when I go to Odoo and I can look, this is how you use the documentation. You can look for master production schedule. You do not see it here. So let's see something that is close to that. I think it will be supply chain. And I can go to manufacturing. And let me see, where do we see it? If I do not see it here, well, let's go to inventory. Ha, it's not here. Product management, not here. Not here. Not here. Okay, this is a hard flow, so I'll just come here and look like all the lazy people. Master production schedule. Okay, there we go. That's a master production schedule. Okay, so let's read about it. It says in Odoo's manufacturing app, the master production schedule, MPS. So basically it's in manufacturing and workflows. The MPS is used to manually plan manufacturing orders, MOs, and purchase orders. Wow, interesting. So it can be used to plan manufacturing orders and also plan purchase orders based on forecasted quantities. What do we have here? Let's go back to our picture. You can see available inventory. What is that? That is, I can't find it in the definition. Net need. That will be, there's a gross need and there's a net need. What is that? So this is basically, one of these is actually our forecasted quantities. And then, yeah, so we can actually plan purchase orders and manufacturing orders based on forecasted quantities. And that's basically what we are going to do in this series of videos. So if I look at the documentation, I can see that this is how an MPS looks like in Odoo, but we are not yet there. And I can see it's a very wonderful documentation. I need to show you this in first principles, and then we see how it is done in Odoo. But we just like to stop here and see you in the next one. Cheers!